Welcome back to the Nourished and Thriving Mama podcast. I'm so excited that you're here. Today's episode is all about what to change when your workouts stop working for you. Now, let me ask you something. Are you hitting the gym, hopping on the treadmill, getting on the walking pad, squeezing in those quick workouts like during nap time? And you're like, yes, I'm doing great. But you're still not seeing the results that you're working so hard for. If you're frustrated, you're not alone. And the truth is that most of us are making little mistakes that are sabotaging our progress, and we didn't even realize it. So in this episode, I'm going to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and show you exactly why your workouts aren't really producing the results that you're looking for. And by the end of this episode, you'll have some actionable steps you can take so that they can start actually working for you. Because why put in the time and effort if they're not helping you progress towards a certain goal? All right, so let's dive in. Okay, let's start with a little bit of tough love here. One of the biggest mistakes that I see moms making is relying too much on cardio type workouts. Now, don't get me wrong. Cardio has a place. Cardio is good for your heart health. Cardio has a ton of amazing benefits. Cardio is what helps give you that boost of endorphins that make us feel freaking amazing. I always have cardio elements incorporated into my week because it helps me with my mood. But cardio should not be your only focus when it comes to your exercise. Simply just getting on the treadmill, walking, or the elliptical, or a stair climber is not helping you to shape your body in the way that you're looking for. What you're missing is the strength training element. The strength training is what is really going to get you the body composition that you're looking for while you're losing weight, giving you the shape, the tone, what you have in mind of what you want your body to look like comes through the strength training. And if you're simply just depending on cardio and burning calories, you're not going to be working on building some muscle that's going to help boost your metabolism and help shape your body. The more muscle that we can put on our body, the better for us, not only in terms of like way further down the road when it's really hard to build muscle and your body breaks down a lot of muscle as you get older, but if we have more muscle now, we burn more calories at rest. It's the same reason why we can get so angry at our husbands or, another guy who's trying to lose weight with us, because they have more muscle usually on their frame. And so they can just think about cutting out like a soda or something, and then the weight starts to drop. Meanwhile, you feel like you're doing all the right things and they're blowing you away in the weight loss. Men typically have more muscle on their frame, so they're burning more calories without having to do anything. Pair that with them actually incorporating some more strength training and cardio, and of course they're going to blow you away. They have that working in their favor. So the better that we can set ourselves up with having muscle or maintaining the muscle that we have while we're working on the weight loss, that is like the secret to being able to maintain long-term and just to make you feel better and to get the body shape that you're looking for and have your body working for you, not against you. Muscle is our friend. We need to keep it. Now, another mistake that I see happening all the time is that people are doing the same workout over and over and over for months. Now, when I say this, we'll get a little bit deeper into this in a second. But I'm saying oh, okay, you've been doing the same 30-minute YouTube workout for 6 months. Those workouts, those are great. But if you're doing the same ones and you're not actually progressing and you're not changing things up, our bodies are smart and they are adaptable. So they get used to the level of what you're doing. We have to change things up. We have to trick it. We have to progress with the weights. We have to do some variation. Otherwise, your body adjusts and then you adapt to that and then you're not growing from there. Your body's not challenged anymore. And usually you hit this progress plateau. So that's when you know you really need to shake things up. So if you've been doing the same, and this is the reason why you see so many people who go to these boutique gyms. And, I hear this so much from clients of mine. They're doing Orange Theory Fitness. They're going 5 days a week, 6 days a week. They're like, I don't understand. I'm going and I am sweating it out. I am pushing myself. I'm doing amazing. But like nothing is changing. I'm not losing any weight. Like my body shape isn't even changing. And they're like, I don't get it. There's ways to adapt going to Orange Theory to kind of help with those goals. But they're doing similar, also random workouts, and there's no real progression to it. You're not switching things up enough and working towards building some muscle. It's more cardio. Yeah, there's some weights, but then the weights are not progressive. So you're not really seeing progress. You're not really building progress, and your body gets used to it. This is the same reason why when I ask people who have been stuck with their weight loss for a long time, like, what do your steps look like? And I'll hear like, oh, I'm a teacher. I walk all around the school all the time. Great. Now what can we do on top of that? Because your body's used to that. What can we do more? And I know more is like really more, but what can we do to shake things up, to challenge your body, to break you out of a progress plateau? Because doing the same thing over and over again, your body learns, it adjusts. So we have to shake things up. And of course, we have to also make sure that we're not forgetting about resting and recovery. In my old days of exercise, I make the mistake all the time of being like, okay, I'm going to work out every single day of the week. I'm not going to take a rest day. And one, that is not how you create sustainable routines for yourself. Two, you don't let your muscles adequately recover for you to be able to push them more in another session. So you're running on kind of empty when you're going into another workout, which is exactly why in my programs, the way I structure the strength training is targeting different muscle groups, different days. Everybody loves the full body workouts, but we don't want to be doing full body every single day. Your legs will get burnt out. You don't want to do legs back to back, because the second leg day, if your legs haven't hit that delayed onset muscle soreness, the second day, you're not going to be able to do as much as you did the first day. You got to let your body rest and recover. You have to be paying attention to how it's feeling too. And skipping those rest days, not letting your muscles adequately recover, doesn't let you challenge your body and push it to grow. So we have to incorporate some rest days in there. I used to feel like I had to work out every single day. Now I only work out definitely at least 3 times a week, sometimes 4, but I have it like strategically planned. I'll play soccer Sundays. And if I'm in my outdoor season, those are some long games. Okay. We play I don't think we're playing 45-minute halves, but 40-minute halves at least. And then half the time I'm playing the whole entire game. So you think about the amount of running that I'm doing in that game. If I was like, okay, well, Sunday I played soccer and then Monday I'm going to do legs. No, Monday is not going to be a leg day. Monday is going to be a rest day. So my body can recover from what it did on Sunday. Tuesday, sometimes that might not even be ready for a leg day. That would be a great day for upper body. And then maybe by Wednesday we can get legs in there. But then you also want to think ahead, because I wouldn't want to do a leg day too close to when I'm going to have another soccer game. So you want to give your body a chance to rest muscle groups, give it a chance to recover, because when you're progressing your weights and you're pushing yourself, we break that muscle down and we need to give it a chance to rebuild and get stronger. So we need to make sure we're not skipping rest days. We're strategically having rest days. And you can do active rest days. I don't like to feel like I'm doing nothing, because sometimes it makes you feel like you're going to slip out of the good progress that you're doing. But that's where all the walking comes in. That's where work on getting your steps up on those days. That NEAT activity, which I dive more deep into that in my program so people can understand. But the movement that you're doing outside of a structured exercise, that is contributing to your calorie deficit as well. And that will be helping you with your weight loss. And that will be helping you long-term with maintenance. So we want extra movement throughout the day. It doesn't always have to be this structured exercise. So you can have some active recovery so that you don't feel like you're either like doing a program or stopping. Like sometimes that rest days are a little hard for people because then the day after the rest day, they have a hard time getting back to it. But when you start to think about how important those rest and recovery days are for you, that is going to really help you with a more sustainable plan that you can keep up with, because you're never burning yourself out, but you're still able to push yourself within those workouts to work towards the goals that you're looking for. Okay. And then now I want to kind of dive into a few myths that have to do with your fitness. The first one, you need to spend hours in the gym to see results. That is completely wrong. You can get a killer workout in 20 to 30 minutes if you focus on the quality of your workout over the quantity. In my foundational program, Fit Mom Foundations, these strength training workouts are like 20 minutes. Some of them are even a little bit less than 20 minutes. But if you're progressing with your weights, you're feeling the muscles when you're doing the different movements, and you're really like paying attention to your form, to the quality of that workout with that structure and building onto it, that is all the time you really need. The rest of your day can be spent moving around, walking around, but you don't have to go to the gym and be lifting for like an hour or 2 hours. Like I hear sometimes people are like, they spent like 2 hours at the gym. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like I can see maybe doing 20 to 30 minutes of strength training and then maybe doing a little bit of cardio to finish that off to help with calorie burn. And like, that's a strategy people can use for weight loss. But let's work on the quality of your exercise. We don't need to just be like, okay, well, hours, I did hours. Let's focus on the movements. Okay. You can get a really good workout in 20 to 30 minutes. You can. You don't need to be spending hours. So that's one myth. Another myth, and this one is still hard for me to believe because I'm an athlete, and yeah, myth number 2 is if you're not drenched in sweat, then you didn't work out hard enough. And yeah, this is one I still struggle with. I'm like, oh, my workout, I need to be sweating and exhausted. Otherwise it wasn't good enough, or like I should have done more. Like for some reason, that one still is hard for me to break out of because I even know the work that I put in. And I know that when I've pushed myself and upped the weights and tried my best to do more weights in moves I haven't done before with good form, I'll probably be sore the next day, even if I didn't get all sweaty. Now I love the sweaty feeling because I get the endorphins and I feel really good, but the sweat does not dictate how hard you work. Now, pre-baby, I didn't sweat as much as I do now. I swear I'm the sweatiest one in the gym, but there's some people that just don't sweat as much. And then there's some people like me who within the first 5 minutes, I'm already sweating. And then thank you for the towels that are at the gym. But you don't have to have every single workout be this sweaty, like you're exhausted, you're falling down on the ground and you need to like recover afterwards. Like that doesn't have to be how your exercise is to make progress. And then the third myth is more is not always better. And more can actually lead to burnout. It can lead to injuries, which as a, 34? As a 34-year-old, I finally now understand why coaches were trying to train us when we were kids to stretch and warm up. Back then, I didn't feel like I ever needed to do that. Now I'm like, okay, what did my coach used to tell me for warm-ups? I need to really warm up my body before I play soccer because I don't want to injure myself, because we can literally injure ourselves just getting out of the bed sometimes. So we need to be careful. If you push yourself too much, those injuries are going to be big setbacks. And then you're going to have to wait and you're going to feel like it's stalling your progress. And you also don't want to get stuck in this cycle where you always have something injured, because then you can't really get the strong workouts that you're looking for. And if you are running on empty and you're lifting, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So more is not always better. Since becoming a mom, efficient and effective is like my two favorite words. I don't like to waste time on things that aren't worth my time, because my time is limited. So what you really need instead of more is just more efficient and effective workouts. You don't need longer. You don't need more volume. You don't need more days. You need efficient and effective. And you need to listen to your body and incorporate rest days so that you don't injure yourself. Because running on empty, the next day's workout sucks because you're still tired. You're not strategic with your workouts. You're burning out your legs. You're, injuring your shoulder, whatever. That's going to lead to slower progress. And I know we don't want our progress to be any slower. Sustainable progress takes time, and we don't want injuries to make this time take even longer. So rest and recovery is important. More is not always better. We want to be more intentional. That's where you can say more. Okay, so what can you do to start turning things around? First, let's prioritize consistency over perfection. You don't need to be perfect. Even when I give my clients like a strength training program to follow, I give you a suggested calendar of ways that you can incorporate it into your week. But if that doesn't work, how can you still be consistent? If the workout structure is 4 strength training sessions during your week, but you seem to only be able to show up with getting in 2, because that seems to be what you can handle right now, get in 2. The thing is, we can always build on. Consistency and building the habits is what we need to work on first. You don't need to go from 0 to 4 workouts a week. You don't need to go from 0 to 5 workouts a week. You need to go to what you can stay consistent with. Consistency is everything, literally everything. So we don't need you to be perfect with following structure, because I think the perfectionism comes into play because we want to hurry up and get to our results, because we want to do it perfect so we get what we're looking for. But we need to step back a little bit because we are setting ourselves up for the rest of our life. So where we can be consistent now while it's creating us some results is how we make sure it's sustainable, and it's how we make sure the weight that you lose stays off for good. Trying to be perfect is going to make you fall into that trap of all or nothing. So we got to scrap perfection. Consistency. If a workout sucks, but you still got yourself out there, you still tried, you still put in the effort, that's something to applaud yourself for. But you have to just work on consistency over perfection. Keep showing up. Even if it's 10 minutes. Even if you only got half the strength training session in. Now, the next thing is, if you have not incorporated any strength training, I would start to do that now. Aim 2 to 3 sessions in your week. Focus on the different muscle groups. I've got a program that's about to come out at the time I'm recording this. That's my Fit Mom Foundations program. That is a fantastic foundational start to strength training. Those workouts are 20 minutes or less. You can either take the workbook and do the workouts on your own, or I'm in the process of finishing up recording them so that you can work out along with me. Whatever's going to work with you. You can cast it to your TV, or you can just, use the booklet and track yourself. But that is a great foundational start to strength training. So that would be like a great thing to jump into. I've already structured these workouts to make sure you're targeting different muscle groups, different planes of motion. We're not overloading something. It's a great foundational start to strength training. And I also want to make sure that you're not underestimating the power of getting in good sleep. I know, mom life, do your best with sleep. Like specifically in my coaching programs, I have a whole pillar with sleep and setting up a sleep routine and all of this stuff, because it is so important for moms, and also staying hydrated. And Another little tiny note with the hydration, drinking some electrolytes minus the sugar. Look for stuff that doesn't have sugar. That is going to help you actually utilize that water instead of just drinking a whole bunch of water and it's just flushing out. You're like peeing every 5 minutes. Like, we need to incorporate some electrolytes with that water. That's helpful for your hydration so that you're actually utilizing the water that you're drinking. And no, coffee doesn't get to count as your water. Although they have done studies and they're saying now that, you still get hydrated from the water in your coffee, but I still say drink some freaking water, okay? If you're not. And then start tracking, okay? You need to track your weights. If you are strength training, track your weights. See how you progress with that. The scale is not the be all end all of your results. How are you feeling? How are your clothes fitting? My lateral raises are not 5s anymore. They're 7.5, 8, and even sometimes 10. Okay. It just depends on where I am in my time of the month. So those are wins. Okay. We have to celebrate how we're growing. The scale is not the end result. Okay. This happens with a lot of clients. This is one last little tidbit I'm going to say before we wrap this up. I have a lot of clients in the past that I worked with in my medical weight loss job where they were so focused and like getting dopamine hits from seeing the scale dropping. And when they got to the point where they needed to maintain their weight, looking at that scale did not give them that dopamine hit anymore because they didn't need to see it going down anymore. They needed to see it, wiggling back and forth between like the same 5 pounds. But it would freak them out because they didn't have that goal set in their mind, like beyond the scale. And so obviously after that revelation with a lot of the clients that I saw in the past, I started making sure that they had goals set up along the way and beyond the scale to help them long term. Because if you're solely focused on just losing the weight and then you lose the weight and you're done, well, that is the worst mindset. Because you're not losing the weight and you're done because you're never done. This is a lifelong thing. So make sure that you're paying attention to the wins beyond the scale, those non-scale victories, because there's going to be a million of them. And there's some that you will not even I have to consciously think back to some of the ones for myself. Like as I was trying to lose my 70 pounds, at one point I couldn't wrap a towel around me anymore. Like such a small little thing, but I was so freaking uncomfortable. The fact that the towel wouldn't wrap around me like it used to, and I could tuck it in and walk around with the towel. My towel wouldn't do that because I was too wide. And it was the biggest little win when I could finally wrap the towel around, do the little tuck, and be able to walk around with it. There are these small little victories in your day to day. Being able to paint your toes without having to hold your breath. Putting on your shoes, tying your shoes, all these bending over things where your stomach is squeezing you and you're not comfortable. You've got to be paying attention to things beyond the scale. Those wins are just as important. And those wins are going to carry you into maintaining the weight long term. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Your time and energy is precious. So you deserve to see results from the effort that you're putting in. And the good news is we can work smarter. We don't have to work harder. So let's make sure that the workouts that you're doing are actually progressing, are pushing you to the next level. You're changing things up. You're incorporating strength training. These are the things that are going to help you progress and create the body shape that you're looking for. And if you need more of a structure, Fit Mom Foundations is the greatest place to start. At the time of this recording, it hasn't launched yet, but it is launching within the next couple of weeks. I'm just recording the last few workouts that are going to be in there, and then I need to edit them. So as long as it takes me to do that, this program will be out there. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for it. Inside there, I have an AI assistant, Macrame, who does your meal planning for you based on your macro blend. This is going to be a super amazing program. And it is the perfect thing that you could use and pull those workouts with the nutrition to get to your goals. But it's coming, so stay tuned. You can DM me, FitMom, on Instagram, and I can send you information. Or you can always check out my sites. I'll have them in the show notes. But let's not fall for these fitness myths. Let's make sure that we're not doing the same exact workout without progressing with the weights for months at a time. Like, we need to be challenging because our body adapts, and we need to not just be doing cardio. Strength training and cardio with your nutrition in the right place. You got it. All right. That is it for today. I'm so glad you tuned in. Share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Leave me a review so more moms can hear this. But until next time, stay nourished and keep on thriving.